Okay, long email time. Hope you're sitting comfortably. I was wondering if I could ask you a question for your YouTube channel. My name is Lauren and I'm 19 from Ireland. I appreciate all you do, blah, blah, blah. I was diagnosed with anorexia when I was 13. Over the last 2 years, I spent 10 months inpatient, 200 miles away from home. But because services are so rare in Ireland, and since being discharged almost a year ago now, I've steadily maintained the same weight I was discharged with, and I have functioned at that since then. I'm not going to read the BMI that she puts. Let's just say that it's below what would be considered statistically a healthy weight. It makes me wonder why she was discharged at that BMI, but whatever. However, as of September, I'm now in college and living away from home. I am attending university in a big city. I now finally have access to a dietitian who's willing to work with someone with anorexia. I've met her 3 times now, but since moving away from home, while I'm working as best as I can with a dietitian, my body has started to lose further weight, and I often dread coming home at the weekends, as I know my mum tries to make high-calorie challenging dinners. Today my parents and I had a massive argument as they are scared and frustrated, and I pretend everything is okay. While everything is okay, I'm no longer half dead and I can engage in college friends and parties, etc. I know I'm still living an extremely controlled and restricted life. Deep down, I'm really scared too. I'm scared that after 6 years of having this, that I will continue in this semi-living state, forever controlled by the eating disorder. I love college, I love my course, I like my friends and the freedom and the joy that comes with living in the university experience. Or part of that joy may be from not having my parents watching over every bite of food. However, I'm scared and wondering how much longer I can hope for someday. I constantly tell myself that someday I will be recovered and someday it will be gone. I started saying that to myself years ago, and I always believed that it would have happened now, yet I can't seem to make the steps alone due to life. Last year I spent the year maintaining because I had an important exam year and nobody wanted to push or upset the eating disorder. However, my parents are very worried and wondering if I should leave college and fully focus on recovery for a while. I just don't know what to do. I'm a perfectionist, and in college, like school last year, I devote my whole self to getting perfect grades while also trying to be in a perfectly normal college student who goes out and has boyfriends, etc. In turn, this just makes all of my focus off further wanting to improve my recovery as I get overwhelmed. I'm terrified, though, that if I leave my happy college life and I devote myself to a year at recovery at home, that I'll feel so alone, isolated, bored, and depressed. I'm so sorry, I feel like ammonious, childish pain. Just eat, my mind is laughing at me, saying, but I simply do not know how to start or what to do or how to balance the external variables. I'm scared of this time next year being in the exact same place and wishing that I had taken time out sooner to recover fully. Because that's how I feel about my past already. I hope I've not annoyed or irritated you. I truly appreciate your value and advice. Yeah, okay. So, Lauren, I think you know the answer, don't you? You need to take some time out. You need to get fully recovered. From reading that, I don't think that you were anywhere near recovered when you left inpatient. It sounds to me like they were able to put some weight on you, but that's absolutely all they did. No work on your neural rewiring or anything like that. It doesn't surprise me at all. You're probably really only a couple of steps mentally above probably where you were before you got admitted to inpatient. You're still controlled by your eating disorder. That's not full recovery, and like you say yourself, that's a complete half-life. So you're 19 right now. I can tell you that, well, I'm really glad that at 19 you're at the place that you are, in that you kind of know that things aren't going to get better magically by themselves, and that you're already regretful of the time that you've wasted, because I promise you it only gets worse. And most of us, myself included, we kind of like push away the damage that we're doing to our bodies mentally, or we can ignore it. But then when you start to hit 25, and then when you start to hit 30, it like your body just it just gets hard to maintain, like, and the damage gets worse, and of course the loneliness and all of that stuff gets worse as well. So what I'm saying is that it's going to get worse as you get older, and I know that the numbers 25, 30, 35, 40 seem like a really long way off to you right now, but you'd be surprised how that time can go, and you'd be surprised how every year it's not the right year, and then you find yourself a year older and no further forward, and in fact all that's happened is that you've consolidated the wiring of the eating disorder by maintaining it for another 365 days. So you absolutely should act now. I get that you like being away from home, but I also get that probably half the reason you like being away from home is because you know that nobody's going to bother you and tell you to eat more food when you're there. That's certainly the reason I stayed at university. I should have gone home. I absolutely should have gone home. And if I could go back and do it again, I would have gone home. And I would have saved myself many years of torture, loneliness, being completely controlled by an eating disorder. I could have done so much more in my early 20s. I could have actually had a life in my early 20s. And that's not to say that I didn't enjoy parts. It's not to say I was completely miserable the whole time. But it's like when I look back now, all of that time, it was like it was just, I don't know. It's like it's behind a wall. I can't even really remember that well. The people who I was with or the things that I did. I know I did things and I tried. It's like I was trying to be normal. It's like there was this pretense. I remember like I would try and go and do things with other people at uni and go on expeditions with them. And it's almost like I was just faking it though. I was never really there. It's weird. It's difficult to describe. But I was aware of it at the time as well. But I wasn't in a place where I could do anything about it. And you are, because you've written this email, you are in a place where you can do something about it. You are recognizing it. And I urge you to go home and get fully recovered. Go home and surrender and just say to your parents, help me out, feed me. I'll eat all the food. Work with them, not against them. Lead the way. You be the one calling the shots. You're the one that wants to get fully recovered. And there'll be a part of your brain that's like, oh, you're going to be missing so much and you can't take time off and this, that and the other. And that's true. You can take time off and it will absolutely be worth it to get yourself fully recovered and fully then be able to experience the things that you're half experiencing right now. It's worth it. So I really hope that you listen, Lauren, and I hope that you're doing well right now. And I hope that you choose full recovery and what it takes to get there. Thanks for writing.